All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to 5 Minutes of Math. And let's go ahead and get started. Now, the first question here asks us, we have an algebra mat, and it shows a step in solving an equation. So which property of real numbers is demonstrated? So we have 2x minus 2 equals 3. You have 2x's minus 2 equals 3. What's our first step for this? Well, our first step is always to cancel out those two negative ones, and there they just flew off the mat. And what we just did numerically was to add 2 to both sides, and those negative 2 and the positive 2 cancel out. So we have 2x minus 2 plus 2 equals 3 plus 2, and 2x equals 5. That's going to be the additive inverse property, and that answer is going to be A. All right, additive inverse, because we added the opposite and canceled some things out. All right, so here's the second problem. And the question says the equation below can be solved to find the elevation of the highest point in Virginia. And the equation itself is the quantity x minus 229 divided by 100 minus 2 equals 53. What do we do first? Add 2 to both sides. Again, that's the additive inverse property, what we just did. Then we multiply both sides by 100 to get rid of that denominator. That's the multiplicative property of equality. So we have 100 times x minus 229 over 100 equals 55 times 100. X minus 229 equals 5500. Drop your parentheses. Add 229 to both sides as additive inverse. The answer is 5729, or J. All right, the answer is J for that one. All right, so going on to number 3. So it says here, which pair of numbers belongs to the solution set of the inequality shown below? And we have 11 minus x divided by 4 is greater than or equal to 18. So we have 11 minus x divided by 4. We have to subtract 11 from both sides, and that's the additive inverse property. Then we're going to multiply both sides by 4. And negative x divided by 4, multiplying it by 4, just leaves negative x. 7 times 4 is 28. Now, we have to divide both sides by negative 1. See where I put that green rectangle? X has to be positive. We cannot have negative x equals some number as a solution. That's the division property of inequality, but there's a special rule. You have to flip the sign whenever you divide or multiply by a negative number. That's why I saved this for the last step. So it's x is less than negative 28. The only answer with two numbers less than negative 28 is B. All right. So going on to number 4. It says here, which property of equality is used to simplify the equation shown below? Now, we saw something like this in the very first problem. And we saw that it was the additive inverse property, and it is, but it's also the addition property of equality. Why? Because we're adding the same number to both sides. All right, and the answer is G. Okay, so we're adding 2 in that second step, and that's why it's the addition property of equality. And number 5, this is our last one. Which property of equality is used to simplify the equation shown below? This one should be familiar because we are distributing the 4 to our x, and we're also distributing the 4 to our negative 3, and we're multiplying. So we have 4 times x is 4x, 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. So 4 times the quantity x minus 3 equals 4x minus 12. That's the distributive property of equality. All right, and that answer is C, and thank you all for listening. I will talk to you all again in about 24 hours. Y'all have a good one.